Welcome, guys, to the All Ears podcast. This is the first of a series, and for me, it will be a podcast that I've wanted to start for a long time, but I wanted to explain the reason why I'm doing a podcast. So for me in my fighting life, when I started fighting and I entered the mats, I felt like the more I learned, the less I knew, because the knowledge just expands and expands and expands, and the more you learn about something, the more there is to learn. And since my fighting career has ended and I've entered the business world and I've entered the real world, if you want to call it that, I feel exactly the same way, that the more I learn about business, the more I learn about money, the more I learn about people, there is just so much information out there. So I've purposefully started a podcast selfishly to learn more about people and more about business and more about money and everything personally for myself. And hopefully there's lessons in there for you guys as well. So that's why it's called All Ears. All Ears with Luke Barnatt, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And we'll be doing lots and lots of episodes, and hopefully we'll get lots of different perspectives from different types of people. It's not all going to be fighting related. We're going to have lots of different points of view, if you want to say that. So let's get going. Okay, so my guest today is Mr. Ondrej Novotny. For my audience, maybe you know him from Octagon, but a lot of people I think won't know who Ondrej is, as famous as he is in the Czech Republic. He's known for now running an MMA event called Octagon MMA, which is the largest MMA event in Europe, have sellout shows all over the Czech Republic, now in Germany and soon to be in the UK as well, and in Slovakia. I mean, the rest of Europe thinks Slovakia and the Czech Republic are the same place, but it's fine. That's my slight intro. He's a friend of mine. He's on holiday. Well, when I say a friend of mine, he's probably the only person in the world that I call my boss, kind of, technically, because I work for him. So a bit of a strange relationship, but I did a good introduction, but I'll pass over to Ondrej to fill in the gaps if I said anything wrong.
No, you said everything right. I think it's perfect. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for taking the time away from your family. I mean, you jumped at the opportunity to come here because, family holiday, kids running around the pool. I said you want to come here for an hour or two and talk bullshit, and you said, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's always no problem. It's happy to talk with you, actually. And it's I'm definitely not your boss. Yeah, we are friends.
Okay, perfect. I like that. Well, I pride myself on working for myself. I've always been the same ever since I started fighting. The reason I started fighting was because I wanted to live my own life and be my own boss and be my own person. That's kind of what gravitated me toward fighting. And now the same since fighting, but you kind of are my boss.
Yeah, I got also my bosses sometimes. Yeah, so if I'm working for somebody as let's say the host, because I'm do the hosting as Survivor for Czech TV for Nova, so I got also the bosses sometimes. So and it's some kind of nice thing in the end, because you don't have to always decide. You can say your thing, which I always do, let's say in Survivor or anybody else, or anywhere else. But also it's somehow good feeling sometimes that somebody take the decision what you don't have to do.
Especially like we were talking earlier, especially about us, because whatever we do, we make the decision, right? Yeah. Especially with family, you're on holiday, where are you going to stay? You have to pick what restaurant you go to. You have to pick everything. For someone to take that away from you, yeah, I guess it's a nice feeling. To be honest, for me in Octagon, I just show up, enjoy the show, do my job, and have fun. So for me, it's good to have a boss who makes all the decisions. So, I mean, like I said, the audience might not know who you are. I know very well, but I'd like to go away from the man that you are right now and talk about the man that you used to be. Because now, for the people that know you, you're an extremely confident, charismatic guy, talks on the mic, very, very loud, especially in the Czech language. Very, very opinionated, like what you like, very direct and tell people what to do. Has it always been like that growing up? Were you, shy, or were you a guy that was always been confident?
I don't know if I always be confident, but in my eyes, it was almost like this. I was always the guy who wants to be someone. Yeah, that was always the purpose in everything what I did. So from the basic school, I was about to be the football player or handball player. Not many people know maybe what is the handball, but it's kind of a good sport in Czech Republic, and it was in those times. So sadly, I start with handball more than with football, because I was playing football for my club in my city in Ostrava, Baník Ostrava, but then I switched to handball, because I start with football, then we go to Greece, and I lived with my father and my mother and my sister there for, let's say, 2 years.
Okay.
So I was speaking fluently Greece, but I forgot almost everything, sadly. But I believe that if you know that language, it should be somewhere there, no? So if I maybe sometimes go to Greece, to the school for 3-4 months, then it should be somewhere there.
Maybe if you get drunk, then it will come back.
I know all the drunk words still that stick with me. But yeah, so, and once we came back from Greece, I didn't go back to football, but my grandpa, he put me to handball. And I was like, yeah, I was good, but not the best one. I was like always in the national teams, but I was always like the second guy for that place. Yeah, you got the 6 players on the field with the goalkeeper, and I was like the second option for my post, or sometimes third option. So I never been really satisfied with that, because I was the guy who wants to be the guy, you know, the guy who is willing to take the ball in the last seconds and make the difference in the score or whatever. And I was always see myself like this. And if I'm not like this in something what I'm doing, I'm quit. Yeah, and I'm going to do something else because I want to be the guy. It was always in me.
Where do you think that comes from? Where do you think that you know, obsession with being the guy that scores the point, that changes the game, the guy that does the thing? Where in your childhood, or have you built that, or you think you were just born with it?
I think it was that competitiveness was always with me, yeah? Because it was already like, as I remember when we were playing on the field as a kids, you know, football, whatever, I was always the guy who wants to score, who wants to take the responsibility, who wants to, you know, do everything, and who wants to be the guy who will do this, you know, from my really first memories. So I don't know, because my grandma and my grandfather, they were like in national teams. They've been the European Championship champions in volleyball, basketball. They were really something special in sports. My mother and my father, they was not, but probably that sparkle jump on me. And yeah, it was always like this.
Well, because you said that your grandfather was the one that made you do handball. So you had a good relationship with your grandparents when you were young, and they were pushing you, you know, so...
They never pushed me, but they always show me the examples. And I was always like to watch all the sports. And I always imagine, when I was young, because I'm the sports commentator, actually I was from 1999. And I was always sitting in front of the TV and I was commentating everything, you know, and I was telling the stories and making people laugh. Since I was a child. And then when Olympic Games came or a World Championship with football or whatever, I pretend that I'm sick, so I didn't go to school, and I was watching everything in TV. Yeah? So I was like this from the very first childhood steps, and it stayed with me. And
you mentioned it in the story that you're from Ostrava, which I've been to now because of Octagon, because they go there regularly. Not many people will know where Ostrava is, so it's, you know, a worker's place, I believe, like factory driven, right?
Yeah, I would say like maybe Liverpool in England, like the blue collar.
Yeah, I was going to say blue collar, but I'm not intelligent enough to know the difference between white collar and blue collar, so I was scared that I was going to mess up. But yeah, like the blue collar city. So, you know, maybe a lot of people have been to Prague and they know the Czech Republic, and when they think of Czech Republic, all they think of is Prague, which I think you live there now. But explain, because I think you have... you know, you're quite proud for being from Ostrava, and you like to go there with Octagon. Like, what is it about Ostrava that means so much to you?
Yeah, like we always said, like once you've been born in Ostrava, you will always have that stamp, which is blue and white. It's our colors, you know, and our football club, it means everything to us. So you always stick with them, and we are cursing, you know, we are miners. So we are somehow tough on us, or also on the others. I call it Mordor, like from the Hobbit. Yeah, like anytime I'm going back to Ostrava, it's bad weather, you know, raining. I always say like, yeah, this is how we like it. You know, I'm going back to Mordor, and people are slightly different. They are nice, but they are also like very strict, and they like you or they don't. And they are like you introduced me, that I'm straight, and mostly people in Ostrava, in my times, it was like this. Yeah, you look on somebody and you already know. Yeah, and you tell it straightly. You don't have the problems, but you said like, I like you or I don't like you and go away. And even the girls was like this, which is perfect because you don't have to go around, she likes you or not. So it was always something good. So yeah, Ostrava is special to me, and I like those people, and I like the environment and everything about that place. So yeah, it's good to be part of something.
I mean, I feel that from you, and I feel it as a part of the show and the event, and you bring it with you, and you're proud to be from where you're from, which I think is super important. And a lot of people aren't like that. They change, or whatever you want to call it, as they move on in their life. And I think having an affinity to where you're from is, it shows that you're a grounded person, or that you believe in like tradition. And I think my opinion, which is going to be a little bit left field, but now as the world is developing, and what's going on with the woke agenda, and what's going on with America and going on in the UK, and we discussed it a little bit with Germany before as well, but I feel like almost when I go to the Czech Republic, and I don't mean this in a negative way, it's like going back in time. Like the gender roles are very, very strong there. Women are women, men are men. It's like good to be a masculine man there, I feel like when I go there. And I don't know if you notice the difference between like East and West. I don't know if that's something that you're aware of, or you just live the way you live.
Like East and West in Czech Republic?
No, in Europe.
In Europe? Like Prague is completely different than the whole country. Yeah. So I believe, and it's probably the same like in Spain. We are in Spain, so we can say that probably Madrid will be completely different than the rest of the country because it's the kingdom city, let's say, and the rest don't like them, and their behavior is slightly different, definitely in Barcelona. But what I believe is like these gender things, and that people are more in, let's say, conservative way. It is, but also it's not. Like it's very the switch is very quick. And let's say my daughter, she's 23 years now, the older one, and she lives the whole time in France, and she's completely like different. We were just discussed today the green stuff around the plastic bags, and all these things, So she's very into it, and. Like I don't say that I'm against it. It's not like this, but I'm just thinking about it more, and I'm not jumping on everything like the paper straw and things like this. I don't believe that it will
Drinking
save
with
our
paper straws is the worst. It's the worst
from the plastic cup, no. So I don't believe that it's gonna be save our planet and things like this. So I believe that the younger generation is different than we were, even in Czech Republic. But definitely. We have, and Czech people should know that Czechs, they don't believe in anything. Yeah, so we are the less religion country on the world probably. Yeah, nobody goes to the church. Just if you really feel somehow strange. So we like Slovakia, they are really going to the church, and they believe in the God and everything. Czechs, they are like totally out of this shit.
Do you think with you think that's a good or a bad thing? As in, you think
I don't know. It's not a good. It's not a bad. I really don't know.
Because for me, what I see, again talking about the UK, I've not lived in the UK for maybe 12 years now. I was in California for a while, and now obviously I've been in Spain for I believe 9 years coming up to. So I've not been around the UK for a while. But every time I go back, I see it transition more and more and more towards the left, if you want to. Don't want to get political, but I just mean towards the gender roles and all these things that are coming into the world. But then when I go, so I travel an insane amount, and then when I go to the Czech Republic, I feel like, this is what England was like when I was growing up.
Yeah.
It's not a huge discussion there. People just kind of get on with their life. And for me, it's very relaxing. I love it there. Again, in Poland, I love it in Poland, in Warsaw. I love these places that have traditional values. But you say that they lack religion, which I didn't realize or didn't know. I thought religion might be the thing that's keeping them traditional. So what is it you think that keeps the Czech people or you think it's going to change and it's changing rapidly?
Everything's going to change, but yeah, in the point of view, what you said, that the Prague and especially Czech is like the really freedom country. That's what I always saying to other people, even in my podcast. I'm saying to people like, you really don't know how people living in the other countries. Yeah, we are like the paradise. We just don't have the sea, but all the rest, it's like in paradise. Really, we got everything is perfect. Everything is brand new because after communist, it's just the 30 years still. So everything is brand new. You got money. You got everything. You can go wherever you want. It's completely safe country. Completely safe. You know, you can walk like with your family in the night. In every part in Prague, and you don't feel that you should be aware of something. Yeah, nobody with knives. There's really not the neighborhood where you can't go or something like that. Or if you will ask me, should I don't step on this, part of the Prague or Czech Republic? I don't know those places. Yeah, so we can go really everywhere you want, and I don't know why it is. But it is like this. Yeah, we are different. We are different than the Austrian, than the Germans, than the Poland, and then the Slovakian. It's strange, but somehow it works. And we got some good, we got some bad, like everyone. But this is what I like on Czech Republic and also in Prague, that it's completely safe place, and we are somehow stick with the old things, yeah, and also not in a bad way, but we don't have too much different people than Czechs are in Prague and in Czech Republic, which sounds like crazy in these times, and people will hate me for this, but it's not bad.
Maybe it's not bad. Maybe that's what, like you said, maybe that's what maintains the tradition without the church and without something else holding it down.
Maybe.
It's just the people living there. You're not having much change from the outsiders.
Yeah, because I love to be in the New York. Yeah, let's say for the first time when I step into the New York, I feel like I'm at home. So I love diversity. I love all the other cultures. I'm still on the way like you, so I'm still traveling, and this is my passion, and everything. But let's say now, like the situation in Prague now, it's a little bit fucked up because of the Ukraine war. Yeah, so many Ukrainians are coming, and they are the closest to us probably. Yeah, but now we got like so many Ukrainians and so many Russians in Prague that even when I'm going with my little daughter, she's 2.5, she's gonna be 3 soon, and when I go with her to the fields where children are playing, how you call it?
Playground.
Yeah, playground. Sorry, to the playgrounds, there are almost only Ukraine and Russian kids, yeah, and just a few Czechs, and I'm observe them, and the Russians, the little Russian kids, they always playing some war games. No matter how old are they always do the somehow violent games. And the Czech kids are different, And Ukraine, they are pretty the same. They also more tougher, and they're also playing the games around the world, and not just because the war is now in Ukraine. It's in their blood, yeah. They're still running, screaming, shooting, hitting themselves, and they are like, they got that aggressivity in their blood, yeah, in the cells blood. But the Czech kids are completely different. They are much more softer. I don't want to say like nicer, but they behave like the kids. They don't have that purpose, They can play with the cars, with trains, with different kind of toys. And if I'm watching it, I don't like it, to be honest, yeah. So because Meda is always feeling the vibe between the kids is different. And you can recognize that the Czech kids, even if they are 3, they don't play with the Russian kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not because you will tell them like they are bad and they are good and you can play with them, because Meda is also like, she's normally living 3 or 2 months per year in Dominican Republic, and because I'm doing the Survivor there, and she's playing with all these kids around, no matter if they are from Dominican Republic, US, Canada. So, and she's okay with them, and they got some chemistry even if they don't speak the same language. But this situation to me on the playground is really strange, and it shows something, So I really don't feel confident with so many people from different countries in Prague, because it somehow destroyed what we got.
Yeah. The special thing that you guys have somehow built up in the country.
So,
and
I welcome everyone, but if it's too much, then it's too much. Like I can see it in France, like when my daughter lives. I think it's too much.
Whereabouts in France is your daughter?
She lives close to Lille. It's like small city, but now she's studying in Lille, and she always saying me like, I would never walk Lille in the night. Not Lille, sorry. On the north, it's Nantes. No, fuck, I have to check it then on the map. Sorry. But she always says to me like, I will never go just by myself. Or even just with my friend, like 2 or 3 is not enough. And they always giving you to something to the drink and these things, and it's not safe and blah, 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 blah. It's like in the little war, So, I think that the diversity is nice, but sometimes it's too much.
I don't want to get too political.
Yeah, I mean also, and especially in English language, it's not easy for me to. But I'm also open to say what I think. So
no problem. But I just mean like you're a guy who's got a daughter who's 23. You said she's 23.
Yeah, 23,
and a 2-year-old. So the generational difference in that is going to be huge.
Yeah,
and I have 2 daughters. One is 4, and one is about to be 2 as well. So I don't want to go, but to go to like the feminism and wokeism and all these things that are happening, the Barbie movie that just came out, and all this propaganda that's trying to push, women's power or whatever you want to call it. As a man that has daughters, I'm like worried about how it's going to influence them, and I don't know if you get the same sensation of that in the Czech Republic. Like you feel the same changes happening in the world, or are you like a bubble?
No. Definitely, we got the same. Like, I think we are maybe not just so open to everything. Yeah. So it took times for a bad change, but also for a good change. Yeah. So I'm completely in to give the women power what they want, but only if they really want it, and also. Like how to say it, if in California is that law that if we will have company together, so we have to have one at least one girl in a 3-piece board or something like this. Yeah, never. like why? Yeah, we are friends, and she's not our friend, and she has to be there just because she's women. Like why? What the fuck? Yeah, it's like for me, it's something what I really can. Take, so these kind of rules, and I don't think it really helps to something, So and in my company you can say like there's like plenty of women, and I like them and everything. Like if they are good enough, they deserve everything. But if they are not good enough, it's like with the man, they have to go. So yeah, I think like you always have to think that these problems have. That swing, and we've been like the men's in a power like too long, and now that swing is going on the other way, and it will took some time, and there will be a lot of good things, but also bad things, and then it's gonna be also going down, and it's gonna be in the middle, and it will be fine. So I took it like this, and now we are definitely pushed to be somewhere where some people like me, you, and the others like don't want to go. Also the gender things and all these things. Like I always says, like you can feel like whatever you want to, but it doesn't mean that I have to feel it the same, and I have to support it, or I have to be like too happy about it, about the pride walks and all these in the centers. Like. You got all the rights what you didn't have before, like especially in Prague you can do whatever you want, so why be so public about some things? Like you got now 75 genders or whatever. 75 genders, really?
Yeah, there's that clip on Instagram I see where they explained to an alien that has come down, like, and he goes, we have males and we have females, and they say, no, we have, I think it's 56, they say in the video, but it's like, and the alien's like, no, and it's just, it's just funny. But I think, like, I see it, and again, having daughters, and I bring it up because you told me a story, maybe you'll remember, but in Survivor, there was a place where you had to eliminate the last woman or something like that, and you got loads of hate because they thought you were sexist.
Yeah, there was the gender rule, which is always in the Survivor, just because of the show, but we set the rule in the middle of a game, which I was against it, but Nova said, like, you have to set them, because that was the elimination game, and you have to set them that no matter who will lose this game, your tribe can't say goodbye to one of the women, because you are sending just the women home, and it's not possible because we can be without the women in this competition. So for this elimination game, no matter what, the man has to go. And it was something stupid, It was really stupid, and I was like, no, don't do this, because nobody likes it. Even women will not like it. I understand fully why are you doing, but it's just not possible. And they still said, no, you have to go there. So I said to the competitors, and then one of these contestants, he was already fucked up, and he was like took it as a team, and he said that he will. Left the competition because of this gender rule, on the tribal council, which is like the biggest thing in Survivor. And I said, if you want to leave, then go. And it was like 3 days when I was the enemy of the whole country, because I said nothing, Nova said nothing, and they just let them, they just let him said whatever he wants. And I said to my TV station, like, okay, so you will not saying how it was, and what I did, and no, we are okay with that. So I said to them, like, okay, then I will come with my podcast, and I will say the whole truth about this, how Jiří was behaved in this show, why he left, and why we do this gender rule. And they said, like, if you want to, do it. So I took like 2 or 3 days, because it was like, really, I was in Dominican Republic, which is like 10,000 kilometers away from Czech Republic, and I was feeling that this light is walking on me, and it's like 10 million people, and they hate me. So it was hard 2 days, but then I do the podcast, and I said everything how it was, and it completely switched, and people start like me again and hate the other guy, because he was really the cheater and the coward.
But they hated you because you had to enforce the fact that the women couldn't get eliminated?
They hate me because they think that, like every time, that I am the guy who running the show, So they are thinking that I'm making the rules and I'm the face of that Survivor, So they hate me because girls hate me because they said, like, it doesn't help the women's if you are saving them. Boys said, and it was true, boys said, like, it's not something what you can do, because in the middle of the competition you can't just change the rules. If they want to send the girls out, they can send them out, because that's the law of the game, so you can do it. So they got all the rights. And also this guy, who left the competition, he was like arguing with me on the tribal council. And in TV, even my wife says, like, it looks like you are like too powerful against him, and you're using that power like too much. And I says, like, it was not like this, because he was trying to argument with me, and I'm the host. I'm the, let's say, the god of this show, So I'm the only one who speak with them, and I'm the only one authority. And he was like telling me his little lies or sneaky things, 10 minutes. And Novak took out these 10 minutes, and they put just the last sentence. So it looks like we are already in a bad place without anything else, And I was like still saying nothing, without the emotion, because I know that is going to be the problem. So I was completely without emotion. I was like, easy. So what else? Okay, we're talking about this problem. What else? And he was like, okay, what do you got else? And then then it looks like I really don't care. And I just, okay, so you want to go? Okay, then go. And he was also like, okay, so I'm going, but I want to say goodbye. No, don't speak anymore. I was like, I want to just say goodbye to everyone. I spent the more than months here, it's very important for me. It's part of my, no, don't speak anymore. Because I have to say to him that don't speak anymore, because I don't know what he wants to tell to everyone, because he can say something about the show, so I have to say, don't speak. There's the door. Bye. And it looks aggressive. But it wasn't.
Well, knowing you, and obviously from a different angle, in your, I guess it's your day job now, what you do for a living, you have to be like that a lot, right? You're the boss. So you have to be very strict in certain ways. So I can imagine that. I can imagine you say, no. There's a door. I can imagine it. I can just see it. So I'm sure, I never saw the program, but I'm sure.
But funny was that he stepped out from the show, like there's like 25 different cameras, and everybody's there. So he took the door and he left and he goes somewhere, he just running away. He started to run away and they couldn't find him like for 10, 15 minutes. It was so funny on the island. And then I closed the tribal council. Everything was like all the other contestants was happy with. They understand fully what we do and that the competition is still fair and square. And then I go away, and there was the main guy from CET, which is like one of the biggest TV companies in Middle and East Europe. And he was like hugging me, kissing me. Yeah, that was the best TV show, and you did it perfect. I love you. So yeah, that couldn't be better. So, and then the shitstorm coming, and I was like, yeah, we are okay. Don't worry, Ondrej, it will pass. And I was like, fuck, so I'm the only guy under all these lights, and you are okay? Yeah, it will pass, no worries. I was like, fuck.
But you felt it, because I remember you messaged me. I remember the voice note you sent me saying, sorry, I can't think at the moment because the whole of Czech Republic hates me. So I was like, okay, cool, we'll speak later. But so Survivor, you said you were a sports commentator since 1999.
Yeah, Australian Open in January was my first sports event.
How did you get into this?
Because I won. I was running, I came in 1998, I was in the US. I was working as a guy who's cleaning the theaters. First 3 months I was doing it in a city which were still the theaters for black people, I would say.
Okay.
How can I say it? Yeah. It was like this. Yeah.
Okay, because so there was segregation back there, and they had black cinemas or black theaters and white theaters, and you were cleaning the black.
It was not signed there, but there was only only black people going there. Yeah, it was close to Chicago. It was the South Bend, the name of the city, something like this.
But how did you end up in Chicago? How comes you were there?
Because you came to some kind of organization, and they just give you the theaters, and they need to use you in Denver or in Chicago.
What was it? So you were living in America, or you were living in the Czech Republic?
No, I was living in Czech Republic, but I go to America because of this work. Because they paid good money, and you didn't have that green license to work, so you were working without the permission, yeah. Okay. So like the Mexican or any other, fugitive. So you was nobody. It was a good experience, actually. Yeah. So you went as a fugitive to America and you started cleaning theaters. Yeah. Okay. Somehow. Leave out the story, but okay. So you're in Chicago cleaning theaters. Then how did you transfer that into doing broadcasting? And I'm doing my shit there, cleaning the theaters around the whole America. But something happens with my back, so I couldn't clean anymore because it really hurts me. So I came back to Czech Republic, and I was still in the university, Charles University, but I split the years. So I got 1 year off to be in America, but after half year I came back, and I said to myself, okay, so I want to start my career as a sports commentator. It was always my dream, and now I have the time. So I was starting to going to the TV stations, and I'm telling them that, yeah, I'm the guy, who was was playing handball for national team, and I'm really good with the words, and I want to commentate. And they always ask me like, did you ever do it before? Come on, guys, I'm 19 years old. So probably not. So don't be stupid. Okay, go away. So I do my tour with all the TV and everything, and nobody wants me. So then then my father was working for one company which provide also Eurosport Czech version. So he called them and said like, just if you want, look at him and maybe he's good, maybe not, just give him the shot. So I go to the TV station director and he says, okay, so today it was like 1 o'clock like now. And today we are broadcasting this Australian Open. So if you want to try at 6 o'clock, there will be a commentator. You will be the co-commentator. I will listening for 30 minutes and then I will call you if you are good or not. And he was listening me, and he called me like, yeah, you are good, so we are taking you.
Amazing.
So that was the start.
And then so what sport? That was tennis then?
That was tennis in January. And February 2nd, the guy who was commentate all the fighting sports, especially the boxing in those times, but sometimes also K1, he left to check TV, and there was nobody for it. And they asked, who wants to do the fight sports? And I was like, definitely.
But you were into fight sports then?
No.
So this was the first time you've ever come across fight sports?
No,
really?
it was not the first time, but I was not like going to the training or for some judo lessons or kickboxing lesson. Never before, yeah. So I start doing this, and I immediately start because I want to be the best. So I immediately start with boxing, with the best boxing trainer in Czech Republic. Then I start with Muay Thai, kickboxing, then with MMA. So I was training. I was somehow feeling into the community. I'm starting doing the documentary about them, and things like this. And they recognize that finally somebody is really care about the fight sport. So they were really open to me. And I'm doing like whatever I can to push those sports around different kind of TVs. And in those times, the K1 was the biggest one, yeah, because they got that baseball stadium, Tokyo Dome, 70,000 people, and they do the K1 around the world. MMA was still something like not so big, because it was just 6-7 years old. So the K1 was the biggest thing, and boxing also. So I was traveling a lot through the whole Europe, especially to Netherlands. I know that Peter Ertz, Ernesto Hus, all these legends, I hang up with them, Badr Hari, and it was still go on and on and on.
So you started training in boxing and kickboxing and all that just to become better at being a sports commentator.
Yeah.
So your dream was to be a sports commentator. That was what you wanted to do.
Yeah, that was
and you just facilitated that. You wanted to learn more about the sport so you could transfer it better so you started training.
Yeah, because I realized like after 1 year, I realized because I was started traveling for these tournaments, and I saw that there is like 20,000 people. It was the first Amsterdam Arena. I don't know if you remember that, but in Netherlands they do the Amsterdam Arena football stadium, and they shut it down only for the one curve, behind the goal, and there was like 20,000 people, and I saw it, and I said like, "Fuck, it will be big, and it's unbelievable." And I could be the guy who will bring it to the Czech, who can know everything, who will know everything, and who will be the leader of this sport, because nobody else is scared now. But I see that it will come. Then I go to Japan, and I saw there's 70,000 people on that baseball stadium. Mm-hmm. So I said like, yeah, it will come, no matter what time, but it will come. Yeah. So from that very first time, I know that I can commentate football. I was doing the hockey also, because hockey is really big in Czech Republic, but it was already somehow settled, and there was like the commentary stars for this kind of sports. And also for me it was a little bit slow. It was take too long time, and if I compare it with the fight sport, it was not so interesting. Mm-hmm. So I said to myself, so I'm gonna be the guy for the fight sports, and I started working on it.
And what year was that?
It was 2000.
Oh yeah, okay. So 1 year later after you began, okay. So it's 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And then how did you... So the main reason I brought you on the show for myself, my own selfish thing, is to think about Octagon now. So obviously we're going back 23 years, but to go on now, you're filling stadiums with 20,000 people like you were in awe of before when you were commentating on these K1 events. And now you're doing that for MMA and they're Czech people or Czech and Slovak people all together in one place. So how did that emerge? Like who had the idea to start Octagon? Where did it come from? What really got the thing moving? Maybe you've told the story a million times. I've never heard it in English, so I thought it'd be interesting.
I will try. Okay, so my thing was that I was the part of almost every organization in Czech or Slovak Republic, and I was also the host, the MC. So they always invite me as an MC, and they also know that I'm working for TV. So I do the documentary for them or live broadcasting or whatever, and they also know that I know everyone. So they start to ask me what kind of fight you would like to see, and I'm always was caring about producing the show, and I tell them like this could be better. So I was always about the whole thing. And then I was it was somehow like until now it is, but now it's finally the time when the fighters are more recognizable than I am. But in those times I was almost the biggest star on the event. I got much more money than fighters had because of my announcing and because who I was. Because people know me, they know my podcast. I'm doing the podcast for more than 10 years now, So I got like 300 episodes, So before the fight sports was big in Czech and Slovak Republic, I was already doing this. So everybody knows me and they care about my opinion. So, and then Paolo calls me and Paolo says like, I got that reality show idea, and I would love to have you as a host.
But how did you know Pavel at this point?
I didn't know him.
You didn't? Okay.
He always saying that I know him. But he was just the guy, not just the guy, but he was the guy who's like somehow trying to do what I did in Czech Republic, in Slovakia. And he was like care about Attila and about some other MMA fighters, and trying to do some YouTube thing around them. But I didn't know really who's this guy, but he knows me like everyone. So I was in vacation in Mexico with my friends, and they told me like, I got one friend, Paulo Neruda, he wants to meet you. So if you agree, you can meet, and he's got some things for you. And that was the Octagon.
So he had the Octagon? No,
he had the idea that we will do, let's say, Ultimate Fighter in a Czech and Slovak weight. Take the idea, but make some curls, some different kind of thing. But the ultimate idea was we will take the 4 Czech fighters, 4 Slovak fighters, put them on the villa. They will fight between themselves, and the final will be Czech against Slovakia. And they have to go through some competition.
And this is what Octagon Challenge became, right?
That's the Octagon Challenge. And Paolo, he wants to do only the Octagon Challenge. But I was about to do the organization. And we didn't spoke about it because for us it was obvious, but the different thing. For him was obvious that we will do just the Octagon Challenge and then it's done. And next year we can do another one, but no tournaments, no organization. Okay. And for me, it was like from the day one, it was like, okay, this is gonna be the start of the organization. And then before, like 10 days before the tournament, and I said to him like, okay, so we got it, and we have to start to planning the other tournament because we have to start to sell the tickets on this tournament. And he was like, what kind of tournament? I was like, we got the organization now. No. Oh, yes. I was like, yes. I was like, yes. Okay, so where is it going to be? I said, Ostrava.
Perfect.
But the Ostrava was just I don't know, 4 maybe, because the next one was in Bratislava, because first one in Praha and the second one was in Bratislava. But yeah, he was like, and it's always me and him is always like this. Like, you think? Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we don't have that long time thinking really. So we take the decision really quick.
This is the point with Octagon Challenge. So in Pavel's head, he was creating a TV program that was a reality show that was going to have a big fight tournament at the end. Mm-hmm. That was what he was doing.
Yeah.
And in your mind, you were starting an organization.
Yeah.
And he didn't know.
Yeah.
And at this point, were you partners? Were you employed? What was the...
No, partners.
You were partners from the beginning. From the first Octagon Challenge, you agreed to be partners.
Yeah. Because he came like, are you going to be the host and I'm running the shit? And I was like, no. I was waiting like 16 years for this moment. So I'm going to be 50-50 partner and we can do it together. And I was like, I don't know. I said, but I know. Yeah.
But I said, have you always been confident that answers the question? No, but I know.
Yeah, because he was thinking that he's bringing some things to me. Mm-hmm. And it was somehow true. But that was that misunderstanding, that he was thinking that we are going to be partners in his TV show. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking that we're going to be the organization already. I was like, I'm not going to be employed in my own organization. So that was kind of funny thing. But yeah, we took the money from the bank and we start like this.
And then, I mean, that's pretty funny. But especially knowing you guys now and knowing the event and knowing everything, how it began. I kind of knew the story, but I didn't know it exactly. So I'm glad I asked about it. But again, for you, at this point in your life, when you were starting Octagon, when Octagon Challenge was happening and you were all partnering up, like financially you were in a good place because you were like a superstar, right? With podcasts and you were traveling the world and doing the commentating and everything. But you said you went to the bank, so you took a loan to start Octagon Challenge. It was like it was a big risk.
Not too big. It was like 20,000 euro per each. Because in that time we got the funny thing is that the whole fight card for the first Octagon tournament was
3,000 euros.
No, it was much more. 3 times more.
Okay.
It was
9,000.
It was 9,600 euro for the whole card. Yeah, and in those times it was the money. Yeah, in MMA it was the money.
I remember because I was fighting.
So it's just 2016.
Bloody
so and now it's less than one fighter. Yeah. So it's crazy. So we took, but if you look at it on this with these numbers, that 10,000 euro was for the fight card, then 20,000 euro per each was quite a big money. Yeah?
So 30,000 was just spent on the event. If you looked at it that way.
I think on the event, it was around 30, maybe 40,000 per event.
So the first event you ever ran, this is the first event you ever ran? You never ran an event before this, or did any?
Not like not in the way that I was. No, actually, no. It was no. One part of my life is also Muay Thai. Yeah. And until that time, I was already the guy who ran the venue Heaven or Hell, which was really well known in the whole Europe as one of the biggest Thai boxing and K1 venue. It was always in Czech Republic. And we also did O2 Arena before. With Lado Rejsefo was the guest there, and McDonald was fighting there, Vondráček, many Ignashov, many really big stars. So I did like 20 tournaments before Octagon as the production guy and owner and.
So you were pretty well set. So
you
knew what you were doing.
Yeah, I know. I was knew what I'm doing.
Okay, perfect. Like always.
not like always. Always I'm pretending that I know. But yeah, in that time I got many, like 100 tournaments behind me as a host, as somebody in production, as somebody who's doing TV broadcasting or whatever. and I saw everything and been everywhere, so all this information, I always suck them into me, and I make the notes what I can do better, and what anybody do. If I will have someday my own organization, then I will do it like this. Yeah, I was always like this. So once I start with that Heaven or Hell tournaments, and they were really big, then immediately it was the best tournaments in Czech Republic, and also like one of the best in Europe. And then I switched to MMA.
So then, like something that I think a lot of people deal with because you're talking about big things. I've run events, so I know how complicated it is and how difficult it is and how many moving parts there are and all the things you have to deal with. Like putting on let's take Octagon Challenge as an example. TV show, big event at the end of it. Do you ever feel anxious or you have anxiety towards doing the event? Like, how do you deal with the anxiety of doing something big, like putting a new TV program on TV, or sport, being a broadcaster live on TV, talking like, you've been doing it for years, so I'm sure it feels easy, but at the beginning, you feel like you were destined to be a sports broadcaster. Did you ever get anxious about going on the microphone and talking, being an MC? I'm a pretty confident guy, but being an MC, the way you do it is a difficult talent. It's not easy to do. So is there any way you deal with anxiety, or do you get anxiety, or how do you deal with that?
Yeah, until now, I'm feeling nervous, and it's good. Like, I love it. Yeah, because now then you know that you actually live. Yeah. That you start sweating and you care about the things. Like last time was on Štvanice before my final speech, I was like, how do people will react on this kind of halftime show, and what will I say? Because I'm never too much about the preparation, because I always trying to prepare myself the whole time. So even now I will take something from the podcast and I will put it in my mind, and then I will use it somewhere else. And this is how I do my speech and whatever I'm doing. I'm still trying to soak the information into my brain and then use them for myself. So, but I'm before Survivor or before these big tournaments, or if I want to say something in Germany, in German language, then I really feel like it's not going to be easy, but I'm somehow enjoying these moments. I like them because I got that mentality that what if, and what is going to be bad? Then it's going to be bad. Like, people will not clapping and it's not will working, and it's going to be embarrassing for a while. And then we go, and there will be another fight and maybe it will not work. But my what if is always in the positive way. And that was what I was feeling from like we were talking about those playgrounds behind your flat or house, when you were like 6-7 years old and you were trying to imagine yourself that you are the Biagio and you are have that penalty kick on the World Soccer Stadium and you are the last one and you can score that final penalty. And this is my what if, my whole life. My one of my closest friend, he told me like 2 years ago when we were on kiting on Rhodos on the same time on a vacation, and he told me like, I always I can forget on the basic school when we were going together, and it was like second class, so it was like 8 years old, and we were playing football, and I was asking you like how you can be that confident that we will win and these things, and he would because it was like the important school game, and I remember that you told me that how I always imagine myself that I'm scoring the most important goal just a few seconds before the time is up, and I'm running with the heads up, and screaming on everyone how happy I am to do this, And this is what I feel until now, I always imagine myself that it's gonna be perfect, that it's gonna be something special, everybody will be enjoying, and I will have that what I want, and it's that the biggest feeling what you can when people are clapping, when everything is running well, when Octagon is doing a good show. So this is my mentality, and this is the only way how I'm looking on the things. And if it's not working, I'm okay with it because so it can happen, but it not hurts me.
Because so when you feel that anxiety start to hit you, that's what you visualize. You visualize the positive side of it, and it's like, what if, rather than saying, what if I could go this way and it could be dark and it could be horrible, you think, yeah, but I could do this and it could be fantastic and I could have this feeling and I could have this emotion, and you always try and strive for the fun part of it.
Yeah.
So then you enjoy the anxiety, because you know going through an anxious moment means you have the opportunity to gain this great moment. So without anxiety, you're not going to have the great moments in life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think, to try and paraphrase, dealing with a lot of successful people, meeting a lot of successful people, talking to them, something I've noticed is dealing with anxiety or pressure, there you can frame it in two ways. You can say like, I'm anxious, so the negative side, or I'm anxious, so the positive side. And if you reframe things into, I need to be anxious, I need to feel pressure for me to perform at my best, it becomes a positive switch. So which is what I used to do in fighting. If I was anxious or frightful before a fight, I was like, brilliant. Yeah. This means I'm going to knock the guy out because I'm worried, you know, so I have to perform. If I feel nothing, it means nothing. Yeah. So that's, for me, you know, for people watching, the amount of successful people I've spoken to, and they've said, I mean, your story's great, and the football and cheering and everything, and that feeling you have as a young child, to have it at 7, 8 years old is incredible. But most people I deal with, I speak to about it, they have something similar. Like, I want to feel anxious because if I feel anxious, I know I'm doing something right. I want to feel pressure because if I feel pressure, then I know I'm doing something right. Rather than, I'm scared, I don't want to feel pressure because this bad thing could happen. Yeah. So I think if you can frame it in a positive light, you can achieve great things. And for you to talk about, I'm going to say it wrong, and I learned to say it for so long. Stwanice.
Stwanice, yeah.
Stwanice. I still can't do it. Brian tried to teach me forever. Stwanice. That speech that you're talking about, I obviously, so people don't know, Octagon MMA, I'm sure you can Google it and look it up, but I commentate for the event and I speak for them in English. And you give your speech at the Stwanice, which is the last time we did it, 7 years in a row, final event, have a big halftime show, this big moment where you're talking to the crowd. I have my headphones on and you're speaking in Czech, and it gets translated for me in English by some woman. I don't know who does it. And this is what I was going to try and talk to you about. I've been to, I don't want to say 1,000, probably more than 1,000 MMA events in my life, easily. Yeah. Because when I first started fighting, I've been competing for about 17 years. My first year of competition, I went to 53 MMA events in a year. So more than the amount of weeks in the year, because I went to one Saturday, one Sunday. Either cornering, fighting, or just going to watch as a fan, whatever it was. I went to one every weekend or 2 a weekend at times, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I've been to a lot of events. And I have seen every promotion you can think of. I've been to live events, the big ones, PFL, Bellator, UFC, KSW. I've been to everything, to all the little ones as well, and ran my own events. So I have a very good understanding of this. And I believe, apart from KSW, which I won't talk badly about anybody, but I think Octagon is the only event that I've ever been to, apart from the UFC, that makes money. Actually makes money, as in like turns a profit, because over a long enough amount of time, over a year, because you have some events that maybe let's talk about Cage Warriors. Cage Warriors is a big event. Okay, it makes money, but it doesn't make money through ticket sales. It doesn't make money through bums on seats, which is the only other event so let's change what I said. The only other event that makes money through bums on seats, I believe, is the UFC and Octagon. I think KSW used to. I don't know if they still do. But I think that comes down to, and I've been giving this a lot of thought, and now I understand even better from listening to your story. And I mean, Pavel has a big impact on it as well, obviously. But what would you say your job role is now, running Octagon? What would you say is that you do for a living?
I'm the storyteller. Yeah, that's what I should do. Yeah. For the fans and for the fighters. Yeah, because I have to tell this little bit of story to everyone to make them understand how it should be. Not how it is, but how it should be. To be more happy in their lives around Octagon. Yeah, not in their own lives, because they got their personal life. But if we are working together, then they have to understand that everything has his own story.
So for me, that's a perfect answer. I knew you'd give a good one. I would put you down as you're a creative person. So I wouldn't put you down as like a COO, like a chief operations manager, like a guy that runs an event and is very rigorous on all the things. You are as well, but you're a visionary who looks at being creative. I think that now I know you better. You always wanted to be a sports commentator. I'm a sports commentator in MMA only, but it's a creative job. Linguistics, having to talk, having to describe what's going on. You have to have a very, very vivid and good imagination. So I believe, you say you're a storyteller, I believe what you do is, what Octagon does, not just yourself, is create moments. It's not about fights so much. The fighting is the least important part, which I know sounds crazy. But to me, as a man who's been around fighting my whole life, is like creating those moments that the people can attach to is a super difficult thing to be able to do. And doing it in the sporting world, I think that creativeness and that being a visionary like that and looking to tell people stories rather than going, we've got two great gladiators, the gladiators are going to fight each other, have fun, is the reason the Octagon has become, as big as it is now.
Yeah, definitely. That's the difference, what we are doing. And I would say now almost nobody else is doing, because it's not easy. Yeah, and this is also what we got special with Palo, that we are the, like you said, and you said it perfectly, like the creative creatures. Mm-hmm. We are not the past fighters. I was the sportsman, and we were training, both of us, but we are not just the fighters who said like, okay, and now I will be running the organization. And I'm not saying that is a bad way, but it's not that. This is not the Hollywood way, I would say, yeah, because like the creating the moments, this is why I'm doing this speech sometime, and I want to give something else, and then people are talking about it, even if a bad way, but still talking.
Well, again, I don't want to embarrass myself, but that moment I said you're talking about, where you were talking, Stanovic sake, still can't say it. Last time I'm going to be there, so I haven't been there for 7 years. I've been there for 2, so I don't know the history of it, but I've been to three of the events, if you include that you had a double event Friday and Saturday. And with you giving the talk, and it getting translated for me in English, bad English, like not bad English, but you know what I mean, like
just a translation.
Just straight translation without any feeling, just someone saying what the words mean. I was extremely touched by the speech. Like I didn't cry, but I almost cried. Maybe I cried a little bit. But, to be able to create that in me, and I'm like the most stoic, non-emotional fighter who has been around the game forever, like it's something very, very difficult to do. So I can only imagine the effect it has on people that have been there 7 years in a row, that are fans of Octagon, that have been, that are so involved with the event, because I think that's what you build, especially in Slovakia and the Czech Republic, over the TV programs. I can only imagine how impactful that is, and for yourself as well, because I saw, like, we shook hands as you came out, and I feel like the energy of it. It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real.
Yeah, like it's funny because people, it's kind of tradition that I was saying something on Štvanice, and people was like, I will say something. I was like, I don't have anything. I don't like that pressure, this kind of pressure that I have to create moment. I want to create them if I want, not if somebody else wants. Yeah, but then I said like, okay, I have to say something, and they always ask me like, are you nervous because Štvanice is for the last time and it's something special, and everybody likes. I'm not nervous. Like I'm happy that it's the final one, because we can grow somewhere else. Yeah, but then I was staying there at 4:00 afternoon, and the halftime show was running. They're trying for the very last time, and I was somehow remember my mother, and then I was started crying. I was staying there, and I started crying while I was staying there. I was like, "Fuck!" So it's not gonna be easy even in the evening. And then I was about to. I know that she was singing the Adele song, and also I should go. And I was like, start crying almost again. I was like, "Fuck!" So now I will be like the guy who's always crying there. But yeah, I like these moments. If you can because also this is my passion, to be somebody who bringing those moments to people, because I love to express myself. When I'm start, cursing, I want to curse like people from Ostrava. They know how to do it, yeah, and they will curse you under the floor. And if I want to be emotional, like in a good way, then I want to be like this, and I wanna cry if I get that feeling, and I can do it in front of the people. It's not a problem for me, like to be completely open. So I love these feelings, and when it comes, it comes.
Well, it was like I said, very, very special moment, not just for Octagon, but I think within MMA. You have seen it, but I have seen it as well from people that I know that are in the MMA world, but they don't really know what Octagon is because it's kind of still in a little bit of a bubble, within Europe. And they come to the show for the first time and they're like, how did I not know this existed? All I do is train MMA every single day. I own a gym. I've got fighters. They fight all over the world and they travel, and I don't know this show exists. Like I see it all the time. People's eyes just like, what the hell is this? So I think as Octagon grows, more people are going to become apparent with it and everything else. And the stories that you're telling and the moments that you're creating will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the idea, right?
Yeah. The funny was the other part was that Freed from Desire song, that they started playing, and I was like, fuck, we need to dance. And I said, and in my head was like, but I want to dance just by myself, so I have to tell them. So I tell the people like, come on, this is for the last time, so stand up and coming together, and it was that was the powerful moment, which is because everybody understands that now. And in Poland, and I saw it on many websites, that they use it like, what the fuck is this with these guys from Octagon, because it's not normal that the principal and the host or MC with the other guy, with Palo, they are screaming on the people, come on, let's dance on MMA tournament, na. So it was so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, no, but now where do you go from there? That's the thing. So that's the last time it's ever going to happen. I know bigger things are planned. But for you, go to your personal life rather than talking about Octagon, we'll come back to it. But how do you feel? I know as a fighter from the past, I was always on a deadline. 3 months, I'm going to fight this guy. 6 months, I'm going to fight this guy. You have a show every month, and you already are planning shows for 2024. I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm sure you are. So how do you keep your eyes on the future, thinking about these events in 2024 and all the amazing things that you want to do and what you're going to do next summer instead of having to say, and then how do you be today, be present here and think about what's going on today? Do you feel like you're kind of living in the future, or you feel like you're taking it day by day?
Both. You have to do both. And 2024 is already done. The whole all the tournaments, it's settled, and we got like 5 or 6 for 25 dates. And I like the both words, to be present here with my daughter now, with you here, and looking for every minute, and I'm trying to set to myself like every morning, like this is gonna be a very nice day, and you will how to say it in English, have some new, not feelings, but
experience.
Yeah, some kind of. We got some special words in Czech. You will get the new experience, and it will give you something. So let's wake up, and enjoy it, because it's gonna be every day is gonna be special. Yeah. So and this is something like the formula for me. And my wife, I was used to say it loudly every morning, and my wife was like, "Go fuck yourself." I'm still sleeping, and you are saying these, words. I was like, "Let's sleep." No, I can't. I need to wake up also. But so because what you are saying loudly, it's more powerful. And after like 2 or 3 years, I start to saying just for myself, because it was already with me that it's every day. So I'm not doing it loudly now. But yeah, I'm trying to be a better person for people which are living with me, which is not easy. Because I'm still the little guy who wants to all the toys, in the shop, and I want to still playing with something, and I don't care about money or anything like this, because I always think like I didn't have any money, and I'm completely okay with the same situation now. Yeah, I will always try to, provide my family, but now I'm a little bit okay. But it's not that I can't eat, potato every day or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. What is matter to me, it's that I'm really living this life what I was looking for it, that I'm still looking for adventures, for something new, and that I'm traveling and all these things what you can gain with more money. But it's not about you can see the watch, about the cars, about anything like this. Yeah. So I'm trying to be the guy who's good for his family and also for his friends and for our viewers and employees in Octagons, because I love to give them that passion, that adventure, what we can bring.
So you said about you used to say out loud every morning. Like, when did you start doing that?
I had a coach when I was because I was working as a financial advisor, and I was running like a small company. Actually, it's like the big company, and you can be the manager, and you got that ladder, and you are still, growing up. So, and I buy to myself one of the best Czech business coach, and he was really good. And in the same time, I was about Buddhism. And in one time, he told me like, okay, so there's two ways. You can be really good in Buddhism, but it's not the same way, which could be the good businessman. Yeah, somehow you have to be not so nice. You have to be, somebody who make the decisions and who's also, kick out the people and things like this. So I was like, okay, I understand. And he gives me those ideas, how to talk with yourself, and how to start your brain every day, and how you can try think about like a parking spot. Yeah, like people never can find parking spot, maybe here in Marbella, but definitely in Prague and in New York. But I will always find a parking spot, because once I'm going to the car, I already thinking that there is a spot for me. Yeah, he's waiting for me, and I know that there will be a spot. And if not, that somebody will go away once I will come. So I never have a problem with the parking spot and things like this. And I really believe it's like the same like you were asking me about the weather.
I was about to say, right. So in Svanitsa, this is exactly what you're saying. So to the people that know, it was a weekend in Prague that was forecasted to rain all weekend. And I mean all weekend. It had a 70% chance of rain. Svanitsa is an outdoor arena. And I come to Ondrej and I said, bro, what are we going to do if it rains? And you said, it will not rain. And I was like, no. But it says it's going to rain. So if it rains, what are we going to do? Luke, trust me, it will not rain. And I was like, okay, but it kind of looks like it's going to rain. And I said, so there's no plan. Basically, you're saying there's no plan. He said, we don't need a plan. It's not going to rain. And I still cannot get my head around the fact that we went and the clouds, they'd like touched the arena. It rained like just outside. This is the arena wall. It rained just outside the arena wall and then went away. So it's like sun just stayed on the arena. And it's obviously the power of this business coach that you had.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's 7 years in a row.
7 years in a row it has not rained on that weekend because you say it's not going to rain.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I look at it. It's not going to rain today.
I'm the Roy Burgundy.
No, but I mean, it's funny because I truly believe in the forces that you're talking about. And I do coaching, one-on-one coaching about this exact thing. That's why I asked the question about it, because I talk to myself every morning. I ask myself a question every morning. And the thing I always say, I believe that the quality of your life is reflected by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. So if you ask yourself good quality questions, your mind will find good quality answers. If you ask shitty questions, you'll get shitty answers. Or you might get the right answers, but they'll lead you down a shitty path. And the way I explain this is like what I think's wrong, maybe a bit of a strong word, but with the youth is like everyone wants to be happy. So people ask themselves, how can I be happy? And that's a shitty question. because the answer to it doesn't exist. Like it's finite. It's something that you happy, unhappy, happy, unhappy. So rather than thinking about how you can become a proud person or how you can push yourself in different ways, people wake up and they go, how can I be happy? Well, the way you can be happy is you can drink Coke, you can eat McDonald's, you can do cocaine, you can get drunk, but none of this is going to lead to a fulfilling life, right? So little sparks of happiness. So that's the quality of the question you're asking yourself, or the quality of the phrase that you're saying. You wake up and you say to yourself, today's going to be great and I'm going to have incredible moments that I'm going to embrace and they're going to improve my life. That's kind of paraphrasing in English what you said. So it's like, I wake up and I ask myself, do I want to be an ordinary person or do I want to be an extraordinary person? Obviously, the answer is always extraordinary. But for me to be an extraordinary person, I have to do extra things, work harder, train harder, absorb more information. So I believe in the power of the mind, maybe not as much as you do, because I can't control the weather yet. I will be able to control the weather. But that's super, super interesting. So when did you have this coach? When did you start with him?
It was like 2007, 10, something around.
And you've seen, so it's before you started Octagon, obviously.
Yeah.
And you've seen, you still utilize the same tricks, if you want to call them tricks, or methods that you learned from this guy. You still utilize them till today.
Yeah, I'm sticking with things which are working for me. Like once I'm doing the first 2 seasons for Survivor, Nova gives me the teacher for politics, and she was like the best teacher for politics in Europe. Yeah, and they give me 4 days with her. So I was in a room like this with her, bigger room, and she trying to teach me how to react on everything. She gives me the photo and she said, "Who's this guy?" I was like, No. Tell me what's your opinion about this guy? What he's doing? How he reacts and things like this. And then she's got that the whole story about this guy on the photo, and I was trying to set what I'm thinking about those people, and then she told me if it's right or not, and she was trying to teach me how I can somehow recognize from vibes, photo, and things like this, how the people really are. Yeah. And then I got also the teacher for acting, and we were like just walking in a big place, like I don't know, 100 maybe 200 square meters, and we are walking together for, let's say, 30 minutes and just saying hi. And we were walking against each other, hi, then hi. And the learning is like this, and it always has some meaning, and it gives you some feelings, it teaches you how to react on different kind of situation, just really quick, and all these things teach me and show me something, and I'm stick with the Buddha phrase. Like once he was dying under the tree, and he's got like more than 82,000 not the rules but truths, let's say. And they ask him like, "Hey Buddha, what we should to do it now? With all these clever things you said, and how we can." Once you will die, how we should go further. And he says like, it's easy. Just use whatever you want, if it suits you, and if not, leave it away. Yeah, and this is what I'm doing. Like, I'm using everything what suits me, and if not, I'm just leave it away. And I'm trying to find something else what will suit me and what will work for me. And if it's work for me, then it's work for me. And that actor teacher, she shows me that method, that what she was used to doing, and somebody teach her that she's pretending. You can see me before the tournament. I always doing in the place before the tournament. She showed me how to settle the tone of my voice, how to make the breathe. So I'm always breathing deeply to my stomach. Mm-hmm. And then I'm feeling that light around me, like this one, strong light. and this is my present and my life and everything what I'm feeling right now. Like, let's say that I'm caring about family and all these things, which is like normal per this day. And I'm living it in this light, and I'm doing a little bit step, and there's just the tournament. Yeah, there is just the things what I need to be concentrating just in that moment. And I can leave behind all my problems, all my needs, whatever I'm dealing with for this kind of moments when I'm caring about the show. And I'm doing it before the Survivor, I'm doing it before the tournaments, and it works for me. So I know that I got like many things to do, but I can leave them for the time which I want, and I can separate myself and to be present only on the tournament and only care about this particular thing and things like this. So I'm trying to find all these little things which can help me in different kind of situation in my life, and doesn't matter if it's like in my personal life or if it's in business.
Yeah, I've seen you do that thing.
Yeah,
I wondered what it was, because I've done vocal coaching because I lost my voice. I don't know if you remember. So after I lost my voice, I did some vocal coaching, but I knew that wasn't vocal coaching as such. But you breathe and you close your eyes. I've looked at you thinking, what the hell is he doing? I never asked because it seemed like a personal thing, which obviously that was the energy I was getting from it, is that seems quite personal, which obviously it is. But that helps you be present on the day, and that, you know, it obviously shows in your performance. I mean, that's something that's changed about Octagon, is you now do all of the emceeing in English.
Yeah.
So obviously because you want to grow out and you believe obviously English is the most, you know, universal language. You're going to reach a bigger audience, but that surely is difficult, because I don't know, because I don't understand Czech, but I'm sure when you do the emceeing in Czech, it's much more effective than it is in English, right?
Yeah.
So what made you make that decision, and are you happy doing that?
I'm not happy. That's why I'm always saying, like, to Paolo and to everyone, like, anybody is used for Octagon, he can step in. Yeah, I'm not like, I'm definitely happy to do it, but also I'm not the guy who has to do it just because it's me. Yeah, once we will say it like anybody else, then let's use him. Yeah, because my English is definitely not the good one. I know it. It's not the worst one also, but yeah, I give myself some goals, and it's strange that some days I got like perfect English almost, like I'm start to talk with the people and I'm feeling like, fuck, I know these words, and I'm putting them in the, you know, sentence, and I was like, yeah, probably I'm saying what I want to say. And some days, like this day, is nothing special, because today I got some meetings from 9 o'clock and I was speaking like 3 hours in English already and having like 20 people in computer. So it's not the perfect way to do that podcast, but yeah, some days I'm better, some days I'm awful almost, but I have to be better, definitely. So I put the goals in front of me until the Manchester tournament, and if I'm not gonna be there, I will do the Manchester, obviously, because nobody else is coming. But then I will said like, fuck it, yeah, let's find somebody else.
Okay, so as it develops, I thought you loved the attention.
But yeah, definitely, I love the attention. Yeah, because I know how to react and how to work with it. Mm-hmm. But I got enough, you know. Also, that's people don't realize, if I'm saying it, that I really can leave it now. If I never ever do the Octagon MC again, I will be happy. Yeah, no problem with it. I can just smash the doors and leave it behind me. And I always does it in my life. When I'm stuck with something, like I was the national handball player, and I said one day, like, I love it, but I'm never gonna be the biggest star of this sport. So do I really want to do it? No. And I didn't, from that day, I never go for training or for the match. I just call them, so I'm quit, bye. So I'm like this.
I'm so similar. You know, like for fighting, I spent 16 years of my life fighting every day, training twice a day, every day. Decided to give up because I knew I'd peaked, or I don't know, I was never going to become the best in the world. My goal was to become the best in the world. I didn't become the best in the world. So what's the point? So I closed the door, and now is 2.5 years later since my last fight, maybe longer than that. And I had never trained 2 days consecutively at all, anything, in 2.5 years. And you've seen me go from being strong to being a bit chubby. So I'm trying to get back on top of that. But I don't walk it. I have an MMA gym here in Spain. I've not taught a class since I give up. I just close the door and move forward, because you can only fit so many things in your brain, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be the best, have the best MMA promotion in the world, you can't be worrying about handball. It's the reality, right? So as Octagon moves forward, obviously, maybe there'll be a new MC. I mean, if there's an MC out there listening, maybe they'll get in contact.
But the problem is, like, I think what I feel is that special off what I've got from our audience, and I don't know if I will get it in England also, if they will, because it can run until we will share the story, until our fans will be different than the other fans. Yeah, if they will come just because of the fights, and it was the story of German. Yeah, they somehow, I believe that they are somehow more happy with me, with the bad English and really bad German language, Czech guy, that then will be happy with any other German guy. Yeah, because they understand that me and Paolo, that we are living Octagon, and that we are the guys who really trying to give them the show. We are really, concentrated on it, and that we are really try to be the biggest German organization, and that we are somehow German organization, as we gonna be a UK organization. We are not just the Czech and Slovak and go to foreign. We want to be present organization, so we want to be there for them. And from my point of view, it's better to be there for them with broken English, with broken German language, with broken Spain language, than be like the guy from Cage Warriors, be the perfect English guy, but with no passion.
Yeah, no feeling.
Yeah, no feelings.
No connection.
Just So I believe that until we will like this, then it's okay. But if it's not gonna be there, then it's gonna be a problem.
So then, as you grow and you move forward and your English gets better, little by little, where do you see Octagon in 10 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. The answer is always the same. We want to be the Formula One amongst the European and Middle East organization. So we want to have, like, let's say 20 tournaments per year, different places, maybe still the same places, or at least still the same countries. And we want to be like the circus, that you already know that June means France, let's say. Yeah, and France then could be Paris, that could be Marseille, doesn't matter. But we all know that June, we go to France, and French people, they know that there will be fights. It's going to be fun, it's going to be big. We will see our stars. They will also connect it with the other fighters from different countries. So, and everybody will be happy that it's there. Like every year they are waiting for Formula One in Germany, in Japan, I don't know where. Yeah. So this is the idea, that we will be between 20 to 25 tournaments, because otherwise it's too much for me. Like UFC now, I don't even care. Yeah, I care about just few tournaments. It's just too much fighting. Like, it's the same with football. But football was here more than 100 years now, yeah? But MMA is not like this. So it's only amount of fights what you can really care about. And the rest is just there. And you really don't care. So I want to be Octagon as a league, as a championship league in MMA that you care about. And you are happy that it's coming. You are not tired that it's there, So I believe that 20 to 25 is definitely the balance. And we want to spread it through the whole Europe and Middle East. I believe that's the region where we want to be. No other countries, no America, no Asia. I don't see it there because it's too far away. And for us, if we want to go somewhere, we want to be there. It's not just like UFC now in London. Yeah, they are in O2 Arena, but the whole London don't know about it. Yeah, England don't know about it. Nobody cares. Just a few thousand people which are really care about those fighters. And it was not sold out. Yeah, and all the and all the organization. It's for me the same. Like they are doing thing which is nobody cares almost, or just the people around that sport, around the fighters. But we want to be something different. We want to be something for the people. We want to be that circus. We want to be something what you will care about and you will looking for it and you will be happy that you can go there and be part of it. So it's maybe not easy, but this is something what we want to create.
Okay, and then what about for Ondrej Novotny? Where does Ondrej want to be? Like, what do you? Obviously, you have business goals, but it's a bit personal, I guess. But I'm just in the same situation with the young children. They're going to be teenagers. Like, what do you? You said that you like to travel through life and soak up the experiences of life to then, hold on to what is useful for you and throw away the other stuff. Like, what do you think you're going to pick up, or where do you see yourself in 10 years personally?
It's funny that I don't have these plans for myself. Like I got it for a family, so I know that we want to have another child. So it will came with them that plans. So I will have 3 child already probably. And the plans will stick with them, so give them the best life possible. But it's going to be, in my eyes, it's going to be life on the way, yeah? Because I still have running and traveling and be somewhere else. So for myself, I hope to myself that it's going to be still so much fun. So I still have to be somewhere doing something else, have that ideas, different kind of companies, because also I got many things to do in different way of business, but I don't want to have like too much, but something what gives me another perspective to what we already doing. Yeah, so I believe, I just want to have fun and adventure, and I open to everything.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I think we've been talking for a while. I have no idea how long, but hopefully. I mean, I learned a hell of a lot about you. And like I said, I'm doing this podcast for myself. I don't care about other people.
Yeah. If they like it, they will.
If they don't like it, they don't like it. But hopefully they learn something as well. So I appreciate taking the time on holiday to come see me. And, I find with podcasting as well, we know each other well, traveled around or whatever, spent 2 years together, but I never got to know you like this. Yeah. So I'm happy we got to spend this time to get to know each other. And thank you very much. Hope everyone enjoyed it. And if you have anything, might as well talk about Octagon really, really quickly. Next tournament's Frankfurt, right? So for anyone who's interested in Octagon MMA or learning more about Ondrej, you can go to octagon.tv. That's where you can see it. Yeah. And then obviously you have the Instagram, which is Octagon MMA. And you have your own Instagram as well, Ondrej Novotny. Yeah. If you want to spell it.
Yeah. Check. You will put it on.
I'll put it on the links below, so you guys can check it out. But anything you want to end on, anything you want to say?
Came. I don't know. Most of the people which will watch this, they are from England. No, probably.
England, America. I'm worldwide, but
you're worldwide. Okay. So Frankfurt is sold out. It's more than 1 month before, which has never happened before in Germany to any other organization, I would like to say. So it's sold out just today. We said that it's only 27 tickets left and it's one here, one there, so there are not 2 tickets next to each other. So it's sold out. So I believe you should try and give us the chance. So no matter where are you, if you are in Germany to Köln, there will be show for 20,000 people, or in Manchester. We are like 2 or 3 weeks after KSI Fury tournament, so you will have the feeling, which is better show, what is give you more joy than if it's gonna be these two fighters. And I like them. I like the personality of KSI definitely. I saw his document, and he's like a crazy guy. I really like what he do. And also Tommy Fury, like, you have to like him that he beat the Jake Paul now.
Of course.
So like I like them both, and it's gonna be a nice challenge with them. So yeah, a lot of fun.
So I'll clean it up a little bit. November 4th
is
we go
Manchester,
to Manchester.
Yeah.
So that'll be the AO Arena in Manchester.
Yeah.
Octagon will be there, and then
2 weeks later it's in Cologne.
It's in Cologne in Germany. 19. So 2 big arenas in 1 month in November in 2 different regions outside of the Czech Republic and Slovakia. And like you said, a bit of a challenge, but we'll see how we get on. But like you said, it'll be the first time the Octagon has ever been to the UK. It'll be a whole new experience, new arena, new place. So I'll be there for sure, commentating cage side with you. So I look forward to it. And check it out. I'll put all the links below so the fans can see.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sweet.